Hello everyone, this week we're doing a video series all about formatting your novel from scratch. These videos are going to share everything that I've learned about formatting, and I hope that they will be a very helpful resource because I'm going to share everything that I wish I would have known about formatting back when I first started formatting my novels from scratch. A couple of the videos in this series will apply to authors whether you are pursuing traditional publishing or self-publishing, while other videos are going to be specifically designed for self-publishing authors who are considering formatting because they want to save themselves money. In this video today, I'm going to give you a big picture overview of what formatting actually is, and then I'm going to talk through what each of the videos in the series is going to focus on so that you can know which of the videos you might specifically want to watch. And then at the end, I'm going to share with you the pre-formatted template that I use that I got from another author, which is absolutely gorgeous and has really helped me have beautifully formatted novels. So make sure you stick around till the end to find out more about that. All right, formatting refers to your novel's layout and appearance, which means that it actually refers to a very wide variety of things such as chapter headers, the images that you include, organizing the entire book, the front and back matter, down to the tiniest little details like the font size or the font style or even the spacing. Usually formatting is something that you want to be done so well that the reader doesn't even notice it, but in some rare instances, such as the chapter headers, you want the formatting to actually draw attention to itself because it is so beautiful. Since formatting is honestly a lot of work and a bit of a headache, my goal for this video series is to help you decide first if formatting on your own is a good fit for you, and second, to help you know exactly what you're getting into before you start, and finally to make the formatting process a lot smoother for you than it was for me when I started out if you do decide to give formatting your novel a shot. Let me pause the video for 1 second. I should rewind really quick and introduce myself. My name is Bethany Atazadeh. I am your professor in this free mini masterclass. Free for you at least. YouTube is paying me, so thank you in advance for watching the videos all the way through, for liking, subscribing, sharing with your friends. All of these things are like a free tip jar, so it really helps my channel. Thank you so much in advance. And it's looking like it's going to be a very full class. So let me introduce you to our TA real quick. This is my teaching assistant, Google. She is super helpful. She's available at all hours of the day and night, and she has pretty much endless resources. So I'm going to be honest with you, even though I am the professor of this course, she knows more than I do. You can definitely ask me questions if you'd like, but I gotta be honest with you, I'm pretty much sharing every single bit of information that I know in this course. So I may often end up referring you to her because she actually knows quite a bit more than I do. There are 5 quick things you should know before class starts. Number 1, I will be reading from my notes here on my computer pretty carefully since this is a very complicated subject and I don't want to miss anything. So if you see me looking down, that's why. Number 2, I am only able to share what I know and what I have chosen to do. So just like everything else in publishing and writing, there's probably 1,000,001 different ways to do formatting. This is just my personal experience. So despite this incredibly professional course where you're going to come out with a bachelor's degree in formatting, I actually have no formal training, and I'm basing everything off of my own experience formatting over 10 different novels and sometimes learning things through what they call trial by fire. So again, I don't know everything about formatting, but I am going to share as much as possible in the series, and for everything else, I'm going to point you to my fabulous TA Google for any support questions you might have. Number 3, I use this gorgeous template that has built-in formatting already set up, and I highly, highly recommend it. I'll talk more about this template at the end of today's video, so make sure you stick around to the end to find out more about that. Number 4, oh yeah, did I mention that this is a series? I'm going to put all the videos in this formatting series into a playlist on YouTube that I will link below every single video. If you want to go back and watch any videos that you missed, you can find that in the description box below. Last but not least, number 5, I am going to timestamp all the videos in this series as much as possible, which means that you can look at the bottom of the video to see what is in each section, and that way you can easily go back and forth and find something again if you need to watch it a second time later or a third time. But I just want to encourage you not to skip around the first time because you might miss something really important and I don't want you to be confused. Okay, back to the video. We have 8 videos in this series so far, and I have a feeling there will probably be more down the road. So we are going to cover, number 1, the 10 basic formatting rules that apply to all novels across the board, plus a few fun extra bonus formatting rules that are a little bit more bendy. These will allow you to set up your novel with basic formatting foundations. There are no specific programs required, and like I said, these are extremely standardized rules, but I will let you know which of these rules are more breakable than others so that you can know going into it if something is going to shout, "I'm an amateur writer." It's better to be aware of the rules and make sure you're looking classy and professional than to accidentally break a rule you didn't even know existed and come across a little bit amateur. That video is going to go live the same day as this one, so I will link it below along with the whole entire formatting playlist, but make sure that you turn on your notifications and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the other videos in this series. The second video in this series is going to cover what's called front and back matter, which is honestly just everything in the front and back of the book that is not the story itself. For example, your title page, copyrights page, acknowledgements, author page, newsletter sign up, other books by the author, etc. This topic applies to all books as well and to all authors, although I will say that it is more important for self-published authors to know since you are in charge of every bit of this, while traditionally published authors don't have to worry quite as much because their publishing house will make most of the decisions in this specific area. We'll cover all the standard pages as well as some bonus pages you can consider and how to set each of these up, so it's going to be a big video, but there is no special software that you need for this one either. The third video in this series will focus on a surprisingly huge topic of how to choose the size for your book and also knowing how to resize it if you ever need to so that it won't be rejected by a publishing on-demand company. Just a quick note, this video applies specifically to physical copies of the book like paperbacks and hardcovers. Fortunately, you do not have to worry about sizing an ebook. Thank goodness. You wouldn't think this needs a whole video, but trust me, it is a big topic. And the majority of this particular video is going to lean heavily on Microsoft Word, but you can still learn a lot about the thought process behind book sizes, even if you don't have Word. The fourth video is all about fonts. So choosing the main font for your book, some of the things that you really need to consider that are very important, as well as the size of your font, chapter header fonts, how to set up something called a style pane in Word so that you can change the entire novel or specific parts of the novel like your chapter headers with a single click instead of going through painstakingly one row at a time. And again, this one is going to apply more to paperbacks, although you may still pick up some things that apply to ebooks in this video as well. In the fifth video, we're going to talk about adding images with something called the bleed feature. And no, I did not make that up. That is actually what it's called. The idea is where an image can bleed off the page and therefore there won't be any awkward white spaces, but it's very tricky to do and it holds up a lot of authors. So I'm going to walk you through the steps for both inserting pictures, really basic, and then a little bit more complicated, and how to add that bleed feature so that your book, again, does not get rejected by a print-on-demand company. This is useful for adding book maps or putting in really beautiful chapter header images or maybe character art or even your author picture. So it's going to be a really fun topic. And then the next video is very closely connected. Video 6 is dedicated to those chapter headers that I told you about, where we actually can create really gorgeous, unique chapter headers where you go a little bit above and beyond and you add some imagery or you just do a little bit fancier fonts. I'm going to do an entire video on how to make gorgeous chapter headers that are more unique and might include imagery and how to insert those into your novel correctly. That video on chapter headers and the video on bleed are going to basically work very closely together. You're going to need both videos if you want to learn how to do that. And I also have a video on how to make a map, and I figured that's close enough to formatting that I'm going to include it in the formatting series linked below. And also this older video where I first shared how I format my novels using that template that I mentioned, and I kind of break that down, as well as a few others that I think might be related, such as how I use Canva or anything that I do in the future if you guys have more requests for formatting that I don't cover in this series. So feel free to leave comments for me below. I would love to hear what you want to know about formatting. Really quick, let's talk about what might not be covered, because I know I've said this many times as your professor, but this is actually a free masterclass and I am a non-certified professor. So even though I am trying to share as much as I possibly can, I doubt this course will ever be fully comprehensive. It's a really big topic. So whenever you need to know more than what I've shared, I would just encourage you to talk to my TA. She will be waiting in the wings to help you whenever you need. One last note when you are making your decision, because as you can see, formatting is a lot of work and it might make you question if it's really worth it, and why do authors bother to do this when there are other options out there. The main reason people typically choose to format on their own is to save money, because yes, there are other easier options out there, which I'll talk about in a second, but while they're easier, they're also a lot more expensive. Unfortunately, saving money does not mean that you're necessarily going to save time or energy or headaches. So there is a bit of a learning curve to formatting, and if you would rather just spend a little bit more money and save yourself some of that stress, here are two other options you can consider. One option is you can purchase a specific formatting software, like for example, Vellum. This is very expensive, but it is a one-time purchase and you can use it for all future books as long as you have a MacBook in this case, or from what I understand, you can rent space on the cloud, or I don't know, because I've never actually used Vellum, but I would encourage you to look into this and see if it's a good fit, because I've heard many good things from authors about Vellum. And that's going to give you like a standard package of formatting options where you can do a lot but only so much. And then the other option is even more unique formatting by hiring a professional formatter who does absolutely everything. You just kind of throw your book at them, wish them luck, and they send it back to you as this beautifully new baby book. I'm just kidding, I don't know. I've never worked with a formatter, I have no idea. But you do get what you pay for. It's gonna be higher quality if you pay for a professional to do the formatting. However, this is a purchase that you will have to make every single time you publish a book. So it can really add up price-wise. Just keep in mind that you're not actually locked in. And maybe you try formatting and you're like, no, I can't do this. I'm gonna hire somebody. Or maybe you hire someone the first time and then further on down the road when you're more comfortable, you decide to buy Vellum or learn how to format yourself. So you are not locked in, but I personally really like to save money, which is why I started formatting my novels from scratch when I started out. And while this part of the publishing process is definitely a huge pain to learn initially, I think it can be extremely worth it. All right, I promised you guys I would end by sharing about this gorgeous pre-formatted publishing template. So this template is from DIYBookFormats.com and it was created by an author, Derek Murphy, and it's an absolute lifesaver. I have it linked below where you can go download the template, and it includes a ton of different styles, which you'll see here, as well as a really thorough explanation of how formatting works within that template and how to use that template. What I would recommend that you do after you download it is keep that template as it is for all future books, and then resave it with your new book's title and work within that document, so that way you always have that template with you for future books. I talk a lot more about the template in my Formatting 101 video, which is also linked below and included in that formatting playlist if you want to see how I use this template first, and I really do recommend it. While you might make a few changes to the template to make it work for you in your book, like for example, I like to change it from a 6x9 to a 5x8, which is the size that I want my book to be, and I also do update the font size and some spacing, but the majority of this is going to already be super classy and already have a ton of the pre-formatted stuff that you would need anyway, all set up and ready to go. So it really takes so much of the headache out of formatting from scratch, and it's saving you so much time with all of the stuff that's already pre-formatted for you. Whew. All right, that is my super thorough explanation of what formatting is and everything that's going to be in this video series, at least so far. And now let's jump into the very first video in the series, which is the 10 basic formatting rules that you need to know when you're formatting your novel.